welcome to our deep dive on ClearTalk AI.
Ah, yes.
You sent us some pretty interesting meeting recordings.
Yeah.
It's really like getting a behind-the-scenes look at this tech startup, especially in those, kind of those early days when they're just getting off the ground.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we're going to be listening in on conversations with ClearTalk AI's founders
Okay.
as they're meeting with all these potential clients and partners.
Yeah.
And so our mission today is, can ClearTalk AI really deliver on this promise of making AI accessible to everyone?
It's a big promise.
It is. And can their tech actually live up to all this hype?
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz around AI these days,
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see what they're actually doing.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that really struck me going through these recordings
Yeah.
is that ClearTalk AI didn't start as like some grand vision for the future of AI.
Oh.
It was born out of a very specific frustration.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Don Crawford, who was running his solar company, Sunrise and Energy,
Yeah.
was just hitting all these roadblocks with those traditional call centers.
Ugh. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Appointment setting was a constant headache.
Yeah.
And he was really determined to find a better way.
Okay, so he was looking for a solution to a problem he was experiencing.
Exactly.
He wasn't just going to settle for any solution though, right?
Right, yeah. And he actually mentions in one of the recordings that he tried out all these different companies before deciding to just build their own voice AI.
Wow, so they were really committed to finding something that worked.
Absolutely. It seems like none of the existing solutions were commercially viable or scalable enough for what he needed.
Okay, so that's a great example of how, necessity can sometimes be the mother of invention.
Yeah, for sure.
And his experience with those other companies actually highlights a key difference in ClearTalk AI's approach.
Interesting. Okay.
They're moving away from the typical, those prompt-based AI systems.
Gotcha.
And they're building something that's more like a chatbot, but for voice.
Okay, now explain that to me like I'm 5. How is their voice AI different from those prompt-based systems?
So think of a prompt-based system, like giving a command to your, virtual assistant, like your Alexa or your Google Assistant.
Got it.
You say, play music, and it plays music.
Okay.
It's very linear.
Yeah.
ClearTalk AI wants to build a system that can actually have a conversation.
Okay.
That's not linear.
Gotcha.
That can understand the context of what you're talking about. And respond in a more natural, flexible way.
So it's less like giving commands and more like having an actual conversation.
Exactly.
That sounds impressive, but is it really that different from what's already out there?
Well, they claim that their system can actually handle much more complex calls, which is really important for tasks like appointment setting, where you need to gather information, check availability, confirm all the details.
Right.
Traditional prompt-based systems often struggle with those kinds of multi-step interactions.
Gotcha. So they're really focusing on making it more conversational and able to handle those more intricate tasks.
Exactly. And that's what makes ClearTalk AI potentially so unique.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to automate simple commands.
Right.
They want to build a system that can actually understand and respond to the nuances of human conversation.
And they seem very focused on making sure their system is reliable, too.
Yes, absolutely.
They actually call out some competitors who are experiencing all these outages and...
not being responsive to clients.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I guess in the world of business, that's a cardinal sin.
Reliability is a huge factor, especially when businesses are relying on this technology for their critical operations.
For sure. I mean, imagine a system going down in the middle of a busy day. That would be a nightmare.
It would be a disaster.
So they're trying to address that by really focusing on building a robust and reliable platform.
Yeah, and they also have this feature they call live tools. Can you unpack what that means and how it works?
Yeah, so live tools basically allow the AI to access and use real-time information during a call.
Okay.
So for example, if the AI is trying to set an appointment, it can actually check your calendar availability right there on the spot and avoid double bookings.
So no more back and forth emails or phone calls, just to find a time that works for everyone.
Exactly, yeah, it's a real time saver.
That's a huge plus.
Yeah, but one of the things that really struck me about ClearTalk AI was their insistence that they're not trying to replace human jobs.
Right. Their motto is, we're not replacing, we're repurposing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to frame the conversation about AI and its impact on the workforce.
It is, because a lot of people are worried about, robots taking their jobs.
Yeah.
But ClearTalk AI seems to be positioning AI as a tool to take over the tasks that people hate, like those repetitive, mind-numbing calls.
Right, the stuff that nobody really wants to do.
Don even claims that using AI to call leads within 5 minutes
5 minutes, wow,
led to a 400% increase in conversions.
That's a pretty compelling statistic.
It is. So is it all just hype?
Right.
Or can AI really deliver those kinds of results?
Well, think about it this way. Most people don't have the patience to wait on hold.
Right.
Or be transferred multiple times. If you can reach a lead instantly
Yeah.
and get their information while they're still interested, you're much more likely to convert them into a customer.
Right. So striking while the iron is hot.
Exactly. And AI can do that without ever needing a coffee break?
That makes sense. But what about the concerns that AI will put people out of work, especially in industries like call centers?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But ClearTalk AI acknowledges those concerns, and they talk about working with agencies to make their technology accessible to smaller businesses. Okay.
They seem to want to empower businesses, not eliminate jobs.
So it's about finding a way for AI and humans to work together.
Right, exactly.
Rather than one replacing the other.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they weave their personal values into their business.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about their Christian faith in these recordings, especially from Don Crawford.
Right.
He mentions a come-to-Jesus moment after an accident that led him to focus on his mission of alternative energy.
Interesting. So this come-to-Jesus moment seems to have shaped not just Don's personal mission, but also ClearTalk AI's philosophy.
It's like they're trying to build a company that reflects their values.
It makes you wonder how those values might influence the development and application of their technology.
Yeah, and they even talk about how this technology can help small businesses compete in a world where AI is becoming more and more important.
Right. It's like they're trying to level the playing field.
Okay, so we've talked about the origin story, the tech, and even a bit about their values.
Their philosophy, yeah. But how does all this translate into a business model?
Right, how do they actually make money?
Let's dive into their pricing and partnership strategies next.
Sounds good. So, picking up where we left off, let's look at how ClearTalk AI is trying to make their technology work for businesses. And their strategy seems to hinge on these two approaches, direct client relationships and working with agencies.
Okay.
Makes sense, right.
You're right. They talk about a white glove service for clients who work with them directly.
Okay.
I'm guessing that comes with a premium price tag.
It does seem that way. Yeah, they mentioned the possibility of charging consulting fees for more complex implementations, but they also see a huge potential in working with agencies.
Makes sense. Agencies already have those established relationships with clients.
Right.
And they understand their specific needs.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a conversation with Terry and Johnny Zentmeyer that highlights this, where Johnny's father actually worked for a competitor of ClearTalk AI.
Oh, wow.
Before switching over.
That's a pretty good endorsement, even if it is secondhand.
Right.
It sounds like, people who have experience with other AI voice platforms are choosing ClearTalk AI.
Yeah.
Maybe because of that reliability and the focus on client relationships that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what's interesting is how ClearTalk AI structures their agency partnerships.
Okay.
It's not just about reselling the product.
Right. They actually give agencies a lot of control over pricing, margins, even the level of support they offer to their clients.
So it's a lot of autonomy.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're treating agencies as an extension of their own team.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
They seem to really value those partnerships and trust the agencies to represent their product effectively.
Okay, so let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
And talk about the elephant in the room, the potential impact of AI on the call center industry.
Right. Don describes traditional call centers as being riddled with all these problems. High turnover, inconsistency, constant need for training.
Yeah.
He believes that AI can handle the volume of calls more efficiently and offer a better experience for customers.
I can see how AI could address some of those issues.
Right.
But isn't there a risk of creating a divide between companies that can embrace AI and those that can't?
Okay.
Some businesses, especially smaller ones, might struggle to keep up.
That's a valid concern, but ClearTalk AI seems to be aware of that risk.
Oh.
Remember their goal of democratizing access to AI.
Yeah.
Their work with agencies is a key part of that, by making the technology more accessible through partnerships.
Right.
They hope to level the playing field a bit.
It's a noble goal for sure.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
Call centers employ a lot of people.
Right.
If AI takes over those jobs, what happens to those workers?
ClearTalk AI argues that they're not looking to replace humans entirely. They see a future where AI and humans can work together, each playing to their strengths.
Okay.
AI handles those repetitive, data-driven tasks,
Right.
while humans focus on the more complex and nuanced interactions.
So it's not about AI versus humans. It's about AI augmenting human capabilities.
Right, exactly.
That sounds much less scary than robots taking over the world.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's be honest, a lot of people, they find interacting with AI really frustrating.
Yeah.
Those automated phone systems can be a real nightmare.
Oh, I think we've all been there.
Right.
Stuck in those endless loops.
Press 1 for this, press 2 for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a maze you can't escape from.
Exactly. But ClearTalk AI is trying to address that.
Okay.
They're emphasizing the importance of making their AI sound natural and engaging. They talk about adjusting the voice, the tone, even the cadence.
Okay.
To create a more human-like conversation.
So it's not just about what the AI says, it's about how it says it.
Exactly. It's like they're trying to build an AI that can pass the Turing test.
Right.
That classic test of whether a machine can exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to or indistinguishable from a human.
It's a high bar.
It is a high bar.
Yeah.
But if they're so focused on making it sound human, are they worried about the ethical implications?
That's a good question.
What's to stop someone from using this technology to deceive people?
Right, to create deep fakes or something like that.
Yeah.
They don't explicitly address those ethical concerns in the recordings. However, they do mention using Anthropic's large language model because it has stricter rules and offers more control than some other models.
That's interesting. It sounds like they're being deliberate about the technology they use and how they develop it.
Yeah, they're not just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
But let's get back to, the practical side of things.
Okay.
They also talk about multilingual capabilities.
Right.
Imagine an AI agent that can seamlessly switch between English and Spanish during a call.
That's impressive.
That opens up a lot of possibilities for businesses.
Absolutely. It could be a game changer for companies operating in diverse markets.
Exactly.
It breaks down language barriers
Yeah.
and creates a more inclusive customer experience.
One thing Gon mentions repeatedly
Yeah.
is the importance of speed to lead.
Okay.
He's obsessed
Really?
with this idea that if you don't contact a lead within 5 minutes,
5 minutes? Wow.
you've basically lost them. Is that really true?
It's not about being rude. It's about being responsive.
Okay.
In today's world, people expect instant gratification.
Right.
If you can't provide that, they'll just move on to someone who can.
I guess that's true. And it makes sense in the context of Don's solar company.
Right.
If someone's requesting a quote for solar panels,
Yeah.
they're probably shopping around. You snooze, you lose.
Exactly.
But can AI really make that much of a difference?
Well, Don claims that using AI to contact leads within that 5-minute window resulted in a 400% increase in conversions for his company.
Wow. Okay. That's hard to argue with.
It's a pretty significant jump.
It seems like AI is more than just about efficiency. It's about giving businesses a competitive edge.
Yeah, for sure.
But it can't be all about sales, right?
Right.
What about other areas like customer service and support?
They touch on that too. They see AI as a way to handle those repetitive, time-consuming tasks
Right.
that often bog down human agents.
Yeah.
Things like answering frequently asked questions,
Sure.
troubleshooting basic issues, even confirming appointments.
Those are all tasks that, most customers probably dread having to deal with anyway.
Exactly. Nobody likes waiting on hold.
No.
Or navigating a complicated phone tree.
Or being transferred like 5 times to different departments.
Right, exactly. And AI can handle those tasks quickly and efficiently, freeing up human agents to focus on more complex and personalized interactions.
It sounds like they're painting a pretty rosy picture of the future of AI.
Yeah.
But they're not naive, are they?
Right.
They must realize that AI is still a relatively new technology, and there are bound to be challenges along the way.
They do acknowledge that AI isn't a magic bullet.
Okay.
There's a learning curve for both businesses and users.
Right.
They talk about the importance of planning, training, and ongoing support to ensure that AI is implemented effectively.
So it's not just about plugging in the technology and letting it run on autopilot.
Yeah, you can't just set it and forget it.
You have to put in the work.
Yeah, they're upfront about the fact that it takes work to make AI work for you. You need to define your goals, refine your prompts, continually test and adjust the system.
Right.
To get the results that you want. It's almost like training a new employee.
That's a good analogy.
Right.
And they recognize that the user experience is critical. They talk about making the technology more intuitive and user-friendly so that businesses can build, deploy, and manage their AI agents without needing a degree in computer science.
It's about lowering the barrier to entry.
Exactly. So it's about making AI accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Not just tech experts.
Right.
But with all this talk about AI taking over tasks, what's left for humans to do?
That's a great question.
Right.
And it's one that we'll explore further as we delve into the specific applications of ClearTalk AI's technology and the implications for both businesses and workers.
It really seems like ClearTalk AI is trying to change the way we think about AI. It's not just a tool to automate tasks.
Right.
It's a way to empower businesses and create new possibilities.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing the boundaries.
But even they admit that AI isn't perfect.
Right.
At least not yet.
Yeah, it's still early days.
They're very upfront about the fact that there will be bumps in the road.
Yeah.
The AI might not understand a question or might give an unexpected response.
It's not a silver bullet.
And that's why they emphasize having a human in the loop.
Okay, a safety net.
So it's not about replacing humans entirely, but having them there as backup, ready to step in when the AI hits a snag.
Makes sense.
It's a way to ensure a smooth customer experience, even when you're dealing with complex or unexpected situations.
Definitely. You need that human touch sometimes.
And it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
There are some things that AI just can't replicate, like, human intuition and empathy.
Those are hard to program.
I'm thinking about those times when you have a really complicated problem and you just need to talk to a real person who can understand your frustration and help you find a solution. AI can't do that.
Yeah, not yet at least.
At least not yet. So
it's good at certain things.
Right.
But not everything.
AI is great at handling those like routine tasks and providing information.
Right.
But it struggles with those nuanced emotional interactions, and that's where the human element becomes essential.
It's about finding the right balance.
It's interesting how they're trying to find that balance between automation and the human touch. It's like creating a hybrid system that leverages the best of both worlds.
That's the sweet spot.
And they're not just talking the talk.
Okay.
They're walking the walk when it comes to transparency. They're very open about their pricing, which is refreshing.
Yeah, that's always a good sign.
No hidden fees, no complicated contracts.
Straightforward.
I was actually surprised by how upfront they were about the costs involved.
Okay.
They even talked about moving away from that, strict per-minute pricing model to something more flexible.
Interesting.
That includes monthly fees and per-minute charges.
So a hybrid model.
It's like they're willing to work with clients to find a model that fits their needs and their budget.
That's a good approach.
It's not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
It shows they're really thinking about their customers.
So you've heard the story of ClearTalk AI.
Yeah.
From a solar company's frustration with call centers to a vision of democratizing access to AI.
It's been a journey.
They've got the tech, the drive,
the passion,
and even the values to make a real impact.
They seem to have all the ingredients.
But here's a question that keeps coming back to me.
Okay.
Is ClearTalk AI just ahead of its time?
Right.
Or are they riding a wave that's about to crest?
That's the big question, isn't it?
AI voice technology is evolving so rapidly.
Yeah.
Will their approach still be relevant in a few years?
It's hard to say for sure. They're betting big on their non-linear conversation approach, their commitment to reliability and user-friendliness.
Right.
But the AI landscape is constantly shifting. New players are emerging.
Yeah, it's a fast-moving field.
Existing technologies are evolving. It's a race to the top, and only time will tell who comes out ahead.
So, for you listening out there, here's something to consider. As AI voice technology becomes more sophisticated and more affordable,
how will it change the way we interact with businesses?
It's a good question to think about.
Will we come to expect instant responses and personalized conversations from every company we deal with?
That's a possibility.
And if so, what does that mean for those businesses that are slow to embrace this technology?
Right. Will they be left behind?
The recordings you shared offer a fascinating glimpse into one possible future.
Yeah, it's a thought-provoking look at what might be coming.
A future where AI is not just a tool, but a partner, a collaborator,
Uh-huh.
a voice that shapes how we communicate and connect with the world around us.
It's a future that's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
It is. It makes you wonder what role humans will play in a world that's increasingly driven by AI.
Yeah, it's a question that we'll all have to grapple with as this technology continues to evolve.